For this demonstration, I will be showing the network setup before firewall rules are put in place. So right now, all services are allowed and there are no filters in place. The network arrangement or the network setup, we have for the network setup, we have 3 VMs. We have the attacker VM, which is on Kali, and then we have our target VM, which is on Ubuntu, and then we have our firewall and Suricata in one VM. So those are the 3 VMs that we'll be using for this demonstration. So our target VM's IP is 192.168.228.132. So right now we're going to test the connectivity from the attacker to our target. And to do that, I'm going to be pinging. And the ping is live and we are getting evidence that there is a connection between VM4 and VM1. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to carry out Nmap. We're going to use Nmap to see what ports are open and available on VM1, right? So we're specifically going to be checking for port 80 and port 21. Okay, so and as we can see, port 21, which is for FTP, is currently closed because there's no FTP currently set up for VM1. And on port 80, it's open, which means that we can connect to the web server. Now we'll be carrying out curl to validate the connection. And the connection is live. Now the next thing we're going to be checking is the next thing we're going to try is a DoS attack on VM1. And to do that, we're going to be using hping. We need root privileges to carry that attack out. And the attack is live. Now we can monitor all of this action using VM3, which is the firewall an IDS on VM. So this is Suricata, and from here, we can monitor the traffic. So as we can see, the scene flooding attack is being monitored and the alerts are being logged in Suricata right now. So the attack is live and I'm going to stop that attack, and we can also check to see Nmap, and we will be able to see that the Nmap attacks were also logged as well. So if we scan through the Suricata alerts, we'll also see the captures for the Nmap scanning attempt. So we have the log of the DoS attacks and Nmap as well. So Suricata has been able to capture those alerts from our attacker. To the end of this demonstration of our network connections before firewall rules have been set. For the Metasploit attack, I had to put my target on UTM, that is a different virtual hypervisor for this task, and I had to convert the OVA file to a QCOW2 file in order to run it on UTM. And the reason why I had to do that was because I'm using a Mac, and MacBooks run ARM architecture, which is incompatible with the OVA file that we were given for this lab. So in doing the Metasploit, this was my results. We were able to get into the Metasploit console, and I searched for the ProFTPD, and we used 16 backdoor, and we set our receiving host, which was VM1, the target, and I set the payload. Initially, the reverse payload wasn't working, so I used bind_curl, and that helped to get us in. And here is the Metasploit working. We're in the shell now. And the who am I? And that was the successful exploit using Metasploit. I did this a few times because I wanted to also try the reverse, and this was my final results after my third session. In this demonstration, I will be showing us how the firewall rules affect traffic, with blocking traffic, allowing traffic, limiting traffic. So I'm going to be showing us how the firewall rules affect traffic coming in and going out of our networks. But first, I want to show us the routes between our attacker and our target, and I'll be using traceroute for that. So this shows that the traffic goes from our attacker through the firewall and the IDS before it gets to our host system. With that being said, we can hop right in. And the first thing I'm going to show us is our IP tables. And that so here we have our IP tables that show us the firewalls that have been put in place to block and limits HTTP and FTP traffic, as well as restrict visits to certain social media sites such as Facebook and Twitter. So that's what the IP tables here show us. Now we're going to test the HTTP access using curl. We're going to be doing that using our attacker. So using the curl command for our VM1, we're going to be checking to see if the firewall rule to block HTTP has been enforced, which would keep anyone or the attacker out of the VM1. So let's check it. And as we can see, it's not responding. There's no response. And eventually it should time out on the attacker. Next, we are going to try Nmap again to see if we are still able to access VM1. And this shows that port 80 as well as port 21 are filtered, which indicates that the firewall is working actively, blocking access to our web server and FTP. Next, we are going to be testing FTP. And again, there is no response. And so if we wait long enough, we should see the connection timeout, showing that the firewall is working. It's in place and is working. I am going to be launching a SIM flood attack, and we are going to monitor the Suricata to see if we get any alerts. So as we can see, Suricata is still able to get alerts for SIM floods and any form of attack that may be coming in contact with our network, because it's programmed to be able to see that traffic, even if the firewall has been put in place, which will prevent these attacks from actually reaching the target. The Suricata is still able to tell us that this was happening to your network, and these were the things that we were able to prevent using the firewall. So that's the beauty of the Suricata. It helps us to keep logs of what's going on in our network so we can take necessary steps. And this brings us to the end of this demonstration. With this demonstration, we've been able to see how important firewalls are in our networks, and we've been able to see how the firewalls can effectively and successfully block unauthorized users from having access to our networks and our systems. And we have also seen the effect of an IDS in detecting and keeping logs of attacks and just activities in our network. Thank you.